Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer, P-EBT webinar. I am going to turn it over to our interpreter to explain how the interpretation will work today, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Buenos días, bienvenidos al webinar de transferencia electrónica de beneficios durante la pandemia. Le voy a pasar la palabra a la intérprete para que explique cómo vamos a utilizar la interpretación hoy día. Hello, my name is Manuel Romero. I'm with the Spring Institute. I'm the Spanish interpreter today. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be using simultaneous interpretation. So once I'm finished with this introduction in English and Spanish, once I'm done, not right now, you'll see a small globe after we turn on the interpretation. It looks like a little world, and it'll be at the bottom of your Zoom window. When you click on that globe, you'll choose your language, English if you're a monolingual English speaker, and Spanish if you're a Spanish speaker. And we ask that everyone choose a language so that you can understand everything that's being said. So thank you very much, and now I'll explain the same thing in Spanish. Oh, also, I'm sorry, if you happen to be on your phones, you won't see a globe, you'll actually see 3 dots. You click on those 3 dots, then hit language, and then you choose your language, English or Spanish. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Manuel Romero, yo soy el intérprete de español hoy día. Un placer estar aquí, bienvenidos. Hoy día vamos a estar utilizando interpretación simultánea. Si están en sus computadoras, una vez que yo termine con esta introducción, todavía no, pero una vez que yo termine, van a ver un mundo o un globo redondo en la parte de abajo de su ventana de Zoom. Si hacen clic en ese globo, pueden elegir su idioma, español si son hablantes de español o inglés si hablan inglés. Si por si acaso, si están en sus teléfonos, no van a ver un mundo, van a ver 3 puntitos. Hacen clic en esos 3 puntitos, luego eligen language, lo que significa idioma, y luego Spanish para español o English para inglés. Muchas gracias. Ahora yo voy a terminar aquí y luego vamos a aprender la interpretación y le damos unos 20 segundos para que todos puedan elegir su idiomas. So I'm all done now, and we're going to turn on the interpretation, and we'll give it about 20 seconds. That way everyone can choose their language before we get started. Thank you very much.
All right. Hopefully everyone has selected their language preference now. So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off. Hello, everyone. I am Jessica Lincoln. I am the P-EBT project manager with the Colorado Department of Human Services. I will be leading most of this webinar today. As I mentioned at the very beginning, we are here today to talk about the Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer, or P-EBT, program for the 2020 to 2021 school year. A couple of housekeeping items before we jump into content. These slides will be posted afterwards. This presentation is being recorded, and we will share that as well. If you have questions during the presentation, these can be added to the Q&A box, and we will have a Q&A portion at the end of today's session. The purpose of today's webinar is to explain Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer, or P-EBT benefits, and next steps. We also want to provide guidance on how community partners can help to spread the word about this program. Today, we will start with a P-EBT overview of school age eligibility. Then I will briefly touch on our plans that are pending federal approval for children ages 0 through 5, as well as summer P-EBT. Next, we will cover the roles of school districts, county offices, and community partners, followed by a review of our outreach toolkit and marketing materials. And then we will wrap up with that Q&A session. So we're going to go right ahead and get started with that P-EBT overview. So the Pandemic Electronic Benefit Transfer, or P-EBT program, provides funds to substitute for free and reduced price school meals that were missed due to COVID-19 related school closures or reduced hours, so a remote or hybrid learning setting. P-EBT funds will be available on a P-EBT card sent directly to most households, regardless of participation last year, or on a SNAP EBT card for most households already participating in SNAP. An electronic benefit transfer, or EBT card, is very similar to a debit card and can be used for purchasing groceries anywhere that you see the SNAP or EBT card accepted here logo. P-EBT does not impact a household's immigration status, meaning the public charge rule does not apply to P-EBT benefits. P-EBT funds also do not count as income for other programs. I do want to make the point that households can use P-EBT funds and still get food from grab-and-go school meal sites. This is not a one or the other situation. So who is eligible? Well, right now, we have federal approval to move forward with the school age plan. I will touch on the proposed childcare and summer components in just a minute. So a school age child may be eligible if 3 conditions are met. First, they must attend a school that participates in the National School Lunch Program, known as NSLP. We included a list of participating schools on our website that we will share later for your reference. The second criteria is that student has to be eligible for free or reduced price meals at their school. And the third criteria is that the student has to attend a school with a remote or hybrid learning model for at least 1 month during the 2020 to 2021 school year, or have opted into a remote learning model for the entire year. Households can apply for the free and reduced price meal program at their school or district office, or by visiting some school websites for more information. One free and reduced price meal application needs to be filed with each school attended by a student in your household, but children in the same household that attend the same school can apply through a single application. As a reminder, students are eligible for free or reduced price meals if they meet some of the criteria we've listed on the slide. So first, if they are enrolled in SNAP or TANF programs, if they are in a foster care placement, if they are considered homeless or migrant, if they have completed an application and were approved for free and reduced price meals during the 2019 to 2020 or the 2020 to 2021 school year, or if they attended a school that serves meals under a community eligibility provision known as CEP, or as a provision to school. This round, we are doing things a little bit differently for the 2020 to 2021 school year benefits. Instead of doing the separate P-EBT application that was done last year, this year, households will not need to apply for P-EBT through a separate application in order to get P-EBT benefits. As we're partnering with the Colorado Department of Education to issue benefits directly to eligible households based on free and reduced price school meal eligibility. So families will not need to complete a dedicated P-EBT application, but will need to have completed a free and reduced price meals application with their school or district. There are going to be 2 different benefit levels of hybrid and remote. So the hybrid benefit will be equivalent to up to $81.84 per month, or the remote level will be up to $136.40 per month, based on the average number of days that a student's school district or school reports as operating in person each month. I want to note that if a student attended a national school lunch program participating school in person, they would not be eligible for P-EBT for the months of in-person learning. This program provides funds to substitute for free and reduced price school meals missed due to COVID-19 related remote or hybrid learning only. The federal government did increase this benefit to $6.82 a day in order to match the cost of a school breakfast, lunch, as well as a snack. So households will begin to receive P-EBT benefits starting in late May for the 2020 to 2021 academic year. There are 3 planned lump sum payments for late May, late June, and late July. It is possible benefits could be issued to your student later if there has been a delay in the P-EBT program receiving data from your child's school district, or if your student has lived in a family foster or kinship care placement during the school year. If a student meets each of the 3 eligibility criteria that I previously mentioned, but has not received a P-EBT card by mid-July, please reach out to the Colorado P-EBT Support Center to ensure that the student's mailing address is captured correctly. We really appreciate your patience with this process as the national card vendor is very in demand at this time and has estimated a 30 to 45-day period for mailing cards at this time. So how is P-EBT issued? Once benefits are processed and issued, a notice will be mailed to each family. For each child's first P-EBT lump sum payment, P-EBT benefits will likely be issued to that family's SNAP EBT card if the SNAP case was active the month before P-EBT issuance. For non-SNAP families, benefits will be issued to each child on their own 2021 P-EBT card under that child's name. Families receiving a new P-EBT card will receive that card in a separate mailer. Please keep this card as it will be reloaded. Also, please note, P-EBT benefits are a separate issuance from SNAP benefits. So how do you use these benefits? First, we ask that you set up your card. So those who receive new P-EBT cards in the student's name will need to enter the student's date of birth and zip code in order to set up a PIN. Cards will come with instructions for setting up this PIN. After that, you can buy food. P-EBT can be used anywhere SNAP benefits are accepted. So grocery stores, corner stores, participating farmers markets, and select online stores. Please look for the SNAP EBT or Quest logo to identify if this location accepts P-EBT benefits. You can use P-EBT to buy most fresh, canned, and frozen food items, but not hot prepared foods or hygiene products. You can stretch your P-EBT benefits with Double Up food bucks. You can visit doubleupcolorado.org for locations where you can double up your P-EBT and SNAP dollars as well as get free fruits and vegetables. All right, so I want to cover a couple points that are pending federal approval at this time, making it very clear that this is all tentative until we have that federal approval. What I can share today is that families with children ages 0 through 5 who are a member of a household with an active SNAP case may be eligible for P-EBT benefits. Again, pending federal approval, more details will be shared once this plan is finalized. In the meantime, we encourage you to apply for SNAP if eligible. Summer P-EBT benefits are another component pending federal approval. We just received federal guidance on April 26th in regard to this program. Colorado is currently in the process of developing a plan for summer P-EBT. More details will be provided following plan approval, very similar to the child care eligibility. I am so excited to announce the P-EBT Support Center will launch on Monday, May 17th, to answer general questions about this program. Starting in June, this support center will be able to assist with more detailed questions. So assisting clients by phone and email with P-EBT eligibility, benefit, and card issuance or replacement questions. They will also be able to redirect calls as needed to school districts and or to the CDHS state program team for questions on free or reduced price meal application process, if there's data discrepancies, or again, those replacement cards. Now I'm going to turn it over to Benjamin to tell us about the role of school districts in this program.
Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Weatherby, and I work in the nutrition office over at CDE. For the role of school districts have been asked to provide student data beginning at the end of April through the end of May. When that data was uploaded by the districts does affect when families will receive those benefits. Even though all meals are free for students this year, families still need to complete a free and reduced priced application in order to be eligible for P-EBT. Make sure that you get applications submitted before school ends. Districts must provide paper applications upon request. So if you just operate online normally, make sure you have paper applications also available. Families must also make sure the school has their correct address on file, because that is where the P-EBT benefits will be mailed. Funding is being offered to districts to support P-EBT work, such as processing income applications over the summer. The grant applications for this have not closed yet, so we do not know what schools have this additional summer funding. Not all schools will be able to process applications over the summer. Right now, we are working with schools to find out who will be open to process applications. Schools may not be able to process applications until the end of summer. Questions about benefits are to be directed to the P-EBT Support Center, and district staff can assist the support center and families with district-specific questions. And with that, we will go over the roles of the County Human Services Office.
Thanks, Benjamin. I'm going to turn it over to Megan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Herdlichka. I am the P-EBT policy lead at the Department of Human Services. So what I'll be covering with you today is the role that county human services offices around Colorado may play in supporting the P-EBT program. While P-EBT is administered entirely on the state level, our teams will be offering resources to county offices to keep all offices apprised of key P-EBT updates and to look for opportunities for collaboration to best support families throughout the state. So on this slide, we'll talk a little bit about the County Human Services Office relationship with P-EBT. As we mentioned, P-EBT is a state-administered program. This means that counties are not involved in the eligibility process or in benefit calculation for P-EBT. So for the most part, families will work directly with the statewide P-EBT support center that Jess talked about for all questions and concerns. The state will be providing various P-EBT resources to county offices so that staff are comfortable and equipped with P-EBT information and the resources available to families in case they are asked questions while they are working with clients. Additionally, since free and reduced price meal application participation is the basis for P-EBT issuance, counties may also encourage households to apply for the free and reduced price meal program at their school or district office, or by visiting their school website for more information. As a general rule, the P-EBT Support Center will always be the primary point of contact for families who need EBT or P-EBT cards reissued in order to use their P-EBT benefits. CDHS is also exploring possibilities with county offices around the state to be able to issue EBT or P-EBT cards to a family that has a barrier to reliably receiving postal mail. And CDHS will continue to work with counties on this idea and will provide more information to all county offices at a later time. So in summary, the state remains the primary administrating body of the P-EBT program, and families will primarily be supported by the Colorado P-EBT Support Center at the state level. The state will also be available to support county offices in relation to the P-EBT program as any questions or concerns come up. So now I will pass this over to my colleague, Mia. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Megan. My name is Mia Donley, and I'm the SNAP Education and Outreach Coordinator and P-EBT Marketing Lead here at CDHS. And today I'm going to talk about the roles of our community partners. So just like the last round of P-EBT, our community partners play an important role for spreading the word about P-EBT. Here are some things we ask our community partners this round of P-EBT. As mentioned, there is no separate application for P-EBT this school year. However, community partners can ensure that eligible families know what P-EBT benefits are and continue to remind them that there is no separate application. However, community partners can ensure that they encourage families to enroll in free or reduced price school meals or SNAP if they have children who are 0 to 5 years old. They can also encourage families to update their current mailing address on file with their students' school by the end of the school year to make sure that the new P-EBT cards can get delivered to the correct address. Community partners can help answer basic questions about P-EBT or direct families to resources like our P-EBT website and soon the P-EBT Support Center for additional help. Community partners are also really vital in increasing the comfort of our immigrant families who might have concerns about participating in P-EBT, and also assure these families that P-EBT is not part of public charge or will affect their immigration status. Lastly, we encourage partners to use the outreach toolkit to promote P-EBT, and I'll talk more about the toolkit in just a bit. Now let's review our outreach toolkit and our marketing campaign. So similar to last round of P-EBT, we partnered with a marketing firm to build off of our previous materials and images and developed additional materials, branding, and digital ad marketing. Our digital ads and online advertising launched May 5th and is targeted at families who may be eligible for P-EBT and links back to our P-EBT website. Also, our P-EBT website was revised to be more user-friendly, and I'll talk about that more in just a moment. We are also launching a public service campaign partnered with Colorado celebrities to spread the word about P-EBT through unique public service announcements, or PSAs, which are short videos that promote P-EBT and prompt families to visit our P-EBT website for more information. The PSAs will be aired on local channels through Comcast, Telemundo, and CBS in English and Spanish starting the week of May 17th. We'll also publish these PSAs in our toolkit and in our social media for others to share as well. So again, like last round, we're using digital ads again to spread the word about P-EBT. We have used the same familiar design, but updated the language to reflect the current P-EBT guidelines. On the right are examples of updated social media posts that can be found in our outreach toolkit. These are images of Instagram story images, and all of our ads and social media posts will be available in English and Spanish. And our CDHS P-EBT website was updated to be more user-friendly. We received feedback from community partners and families and updated the website to be easier to navigate to the most important information. We also wanted to make it friendly for mobile users, as many families use their phones to access the site. On the homepage, you can see we added 4 big buttons at the top, which users can click, and it will take them to the information they need. The main menu on the left or on the bottom of the page for mobile users navigates our families to our FAQs, how to use P-EBT benefits and activate their card, resources for other food assistance, and our outreach toolkit. Additionally, we added a feature that can translate the web pages into multiple languages. Where you see the red circle on our screen, there's a drop-down menu on the website where families can select from a list of languages to translate the page into their language of choice. We will continue to update this page when our support center launches with a contact information button and a chatbot service to help families self-service after hours. Lastly, here is an overview of our outreach toolkit and what is included. Last round, we received great feedback on the toolkit and wanted to provide useful tools for our schools and the community again. The toolkit is available at our website in English, Spanish, and 8 additional languages for some materials. There are editable fact sheets, flyers, website or newsletter copy. We'll soon have the promotional videos and PSAs in our toolkit. There's also social media messages and images, as well as email, text messages, and robocall scripts for our schools to use. More materials for SNAP families with children under 6 and for summer P-EBT will be coming. We will also add slides from our webinar to the toolkit for others to share and inform their staff on P-EBT. Now I'll turn it over to Anya from Hunger Free Colorado, and she'll share with us how community and outreach partners can use the toolkit and with other ways to help spread the word about P-EBT.
Thank you, Mia. Hi, everyone. This is Anya Rose with Hunger Free Colorado. And I'll be sharing a little bit about how we're using the toolkit. But before then, I just want to reinforce how exciting of a program this is. This could bring hundreds of millions of dollars to Colorado families to support child nutrition. And we're just so excited about that. So to help spread the word about how to access P-EBT and to make sure families know P-EBT is coming and is safe to use, we need lots of partners to share information. Last time around, so many groups did amazing work helping families to find the application and apply. And this time it's even simpler, which is great. But we still need to make sure that families know to apply for free and reduced price meals with their school, know to update their mailing address if necessary with their school, and know to hold on to their cards. So the more folks hear from organizations and community members and family members that they trust about P-EBT, the better the reach and impact of this great program will be. So a little about what we're trying to do at Hunger Free Colorado. We've been using the materials in the outreach toolkit to do things like encourage school meal applications wherever and whenever we can, especially through our SNAP outreach work. We're sending emails to our contact lists with P-EBT information and including P-EBT updates in all of our newsletters. We're also posting on social media and making shareable videos since we know those get good reach on social media. And we'll be sharing out a new video that can be posted and shared next week with the follow-up to this. And we're also going to be trying to host some Facebook Live events to share and answer questions. And if you want to get notified when those happen, or with our social media posts to be able to easily share those, you can follow our page, Hunger Free Colorado. And there are lots of other things partners can be doing as well. For example, spread the message that families should keep the P-EBT cards they receive because they could receive additional payments on them. We've also heard great work happening with including flyers with grab and go meals or food boxes at school meal sites or food distribution programs. That's another great way to get the word out. And if you have community meetings or staff meetings, you can present on what you've learned today so your team or community can also speak to the program and gain these tools. And like Mia said, a condensed version of this presentation will be made available for you all to use. And finally, if you have texting capabilities, you can send text messages. There are templates for that and for all of these things I mentioned in the outreach toolkit. It makes it really easy. So we encourage folks to use that and to join us in sharing this information out, however is most helpful for your community. So thank you all in advance for all of the partnership for spreading the word on this. And with that, I will pass it back to Jessica.
Hello again, everyone. So as I mentioned earlier, the Colorado P-EBT Support Center will be launching this Monday, May 17th for answering general questions. Please remember that specific case questions cannot be answered until June. But on Monday, we will be sharing that phone number and email address, as well as posting that to our website, as Mia mentioned. We wanted to provide a couple of other resources to you all. So the first is our P-EBT website, or CDHS's P-EBT website, as we have referenced, several times throughout this presentation. That is the best source of the most up-to-date information at any time on this program. The second resource is the CDE school sponsor page to provide some resources from CDE. Third, we have the outreach toolkit that Mia covered earlier. And the last resource is kidsfoodfinder.org for individuals and families that need more immediate access to food. This is a great resource to find some of those available locations. That was a lot of information, so let's review. Households will not need to apply for P-EBT through a dedicated application in order to get P-EBT benefits for this school year. CDHS has partnered with CDE to issue benefits directly to eligible households based on free and reduced price school meal eligibility. We are encouraging families to enroll in free or reduced price school meals or SNAP if children are ages 0 through 5. We are also encouraging families to update their current mailing address on file with their student or students' schools by the end of this school year, so the 2020 to 2021 school year. You can use the outreach toolkit to promote P-EBT. And again, the Colorado P-EBT Support Center will launch on Monday. That is all of our content to present today. So I am going to open up the webinar for our question and answer portion. Please make sure to type your questions into the Q&A chat box. Questions and answers will also be typed out and sent out to participants following this webinar. All right. If I can have all of my panelists come back on video, we will get started with Q&A.
Great. We already have lots of excellent questions in the Q&A, so I will read them out and pass them off to our CDHS and CDE experts. The first question, and there are lots of questions about this, if clients already have a P-EBT card, will they get a new one or can they use the same one?
I can take this question. Thank you, Kelly. So everyone, new cards will be issued for this year. So even if you received a card and participated in the program last year, we are going to be issuing new 2021 P-EBT cards for this, to cover the period of this academic school year. I want to remind everyone that if a family is actively participating in SNAP a month before P-EBT issuance, those benefits will likely be loaded onto the existing SNAP card.
Great. And do families have to reapply if they applied last time?
So there is no separate P-EBT application this time, but we do encourage you to make sure there is a free and reduced price school meal application on file with each of your students' schools in order to be eligible for these benefits.
Great. Next question is, how much is the maximum income that a family can have to qualify to receive this benefit or free and reduced price school meals?
Benjamin, would you be able to speak to this?
Or I'm glad to take this one too, Jessica.
Yes,
We do have the income eligibility guidelines posted on the CDHS webpage. correct me if I'm wrong, Jessica, but the qualifying income guidelines are available there.
And can you talk a little about how you will work with families that have moved addresses?
Sure. So again, we are encouraging that you reach out to your children's schools to make sure that that mailing address has been updated and is on file with each individual school if you have moved addresses over the course of this past school year. We will be able to assist with address updates starting a little bit later, more in June, through the P-EBT Support Center. So if you have an issue, as I mentioned, if you think that you may have met those 3 eligibility criteria but have not received your card by mid-July, then we're asking that you reach out to the support center to make sure your address is correctly captured, and then we can reissue a card to that address.
Thank you. Will families be notified of when the payment hits the P-EBT card?
Yes, so we will be mailing out notices once benefits have been issued. So each family should get a notice listing the months and the issuance for each of those appropriate months. If this notice gets lost in the mail or never arrives, you can again reach out to the P-EBT Support Center and they will have a copy of a notice for each case that has been issued and can provide you with a copy of that notice.
Great. Then we have a question. We were in session all year long with remote as a choice for students. Are any of our students eligible for these funds?
So Rachel, please chime in here if you have additional information, but as long as you are an NSLP participating school and your students opted into a remote option for the entire year, they would still be considered as remote. And if they are free and reduced price school meal eligible, they would still be eligible for benefits, yes.
All right, and is only working remotely on Fridays still considered hybrid?
I think I would need a little bit more information on the situation to be able to accurately answer that question. I apologize.
All right, so we can follow up on that one. And how does a family know if they have received or if they're qualifying for free or reduced lunch? How do they know if they have it?
That's a great question. Families can reach out to their school to see if their child is eligible and enrolled.
And what if a family has lost the card?
Card replacements can be requested through the P-EBT Support Center. So we just ask that the family call that number and we should be able to issue a replacement card.
Next one, will the new P-EBT cards be accepted by museums and parks that participate in the SNAP $1 admission programs?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer. Team, do you know? Right, I think we may have to follow up on that question.
Yes, yeah, this is Terry. I think we'd have to follow up. I believe all they asked for is to see a copy of the card. So I believe that would be a yes, but we will follow up and get an actual answer for you, for everyone.
Thanks, Terry.
Great, thank you. And as a reminder to everyone, we'll be writing up questions and those we don't get to and sending in the follow-up too. Let's see. So people who already have a P-EBT card, will they be able to use the same P-EBT card?
No, so we are going to be issuing new P-EBT cards for this academic year benefits.
Thank you. And are we going to send materials for outreach on this program?
Mia, would you like to take this question?
Absolutely. I'm sorry, Bonnie, can you repeat that one more time?
Yes, will we be sending outreach materials for the program?
Yeah, we will send out a link after our webinar for our link to our outreach toolkit. And I also can drop the link for our outreach toolkit in the chat box as well for everyone to access.
Thank you. Will this benefit also be for families or students in schools that have been switching between in-person and online learning due to quarantines?
Rachel B., can I call on you for this one?
Yes, of course. Families that were quarantined during different periods throughout the school year, and then yes, switching between in-person and online learning, they will have the opportunity to reach out to the support center if they feel like they should be eligible and perhaps the data provided is not indicating as such. They can contact the support center for help with that.
Apologies. I will caveat that by saying that we are not able to issue just for the period of quarantine, though. This is issued based on predominant learning mode at the school level.
Thank you. And then we have a question around SNAP. When applying for SNAP for the first time, do they ask you to provide a social security number, or what type of documentation is required?
Megan or Terry, can you take this one, please?
Sure. So when applying for SNAP, a social security number is required for the head of household, as well as identification. So SNAP qualifications and requirements are slightly different than free and reduced lunch program requirements. But you can find all the information on applying for SNAP and what is required at our website, and we can provide that website with the other information that we're providing later on.
Thank you. Is there an age limit on children's ability to receive the P-EBT benefits? For example, seniors in high school that receive free and reduced lunch but turn 18 in December of 2021 or of our previous year.
So I believe as long as they are enrolled in a participating school and meet all of the eligibility requirements, they would still be eligible for benefits. Terry, please correct that if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's not based on age, it's based on the school attendance. So if they attended school in the previous school year, current school year that we're still in, yes, they would get the benefit.
Are paper applications not required for Provision 2 schools? It's probably a Rachel question.
Can you take that one, please?
Yes, thank you for the question, Esther. So we do have public and private schools that operate Provision 2. Our private schools are not necessarily required to provide applications for non-base years. But in reference to P-EBT, if you're a provision 2 school or a CEP school, all of your students would be eligible for that free or reduced price indicator, if that's helpful.
Thank you. And then we actually have a few questions around this. So I'm going to try to lump them together. Actually, one moment. I think, Rachel, can you repeat that one more time just for the Spanish interpretation, please?
Yes, sorry, Manuel. So basically, in general, provision 2 schools or schools that operate the community eligibility provision, all of those students are going to meet the criteria as being free or reduced price eligible for purposes of P-EBT. So Esther's question was more around the requirement of a paper application, but that's not necessarily needed for purposes of the P-EBT.
Thank you. And then we have a few questions around this. Last time, a special student number from the district was required to apply. Is that necessary this year?
No, that requirement is no longer in place for this year.
Great. Do students who already identified as migrant in the school district need to complete the free and reduced price lunch application?
I can answer this one. So we do have a really robust system to try to identify migrant students at the local level for free lunch. It's not 100% accurate. So if you're questioning whether you are going to be certified as free or reduced price lunch, I would just double check with your school or district to make sure your eligibility is updated. And if it's not, you can either connect with your local migrant liaison or advise the family to complete an application.
Thank you. And then this one might be for Mia. Are the PSAs being sent to local radio stations?
It's a great question. This year, we won't have anything on the radio, but we will have those PSAs on air on local television channels and then able to share on our social media. So we'll have those available in our toolkit and on cable.
Thanks. And I think this is another one for you, Mia. Are we free to distribute or post anything from the outreach toolkit? Are there any guidelines we need to follow?
That's a great question. There are no guidelines that we have for sharing or posting these materials. The flyers all have our disclaimer statement that it's an equal opportunity provider, but otherwise feel free to share. And if you have any specific questions about the outreach toolkit, I'll put my email in the chat box so you can email me if you have questions.
Thank you. So what if a student was remote, not hybrid? How can they correct their status? And do they go through their school or through the P-EBT support services?
I can take this one. So if a family or student feels that there is a data discrepancy that has resulted in an incorrect amount of benefits, they can reach out to the P-EBT Support Center. We will ask for a little bit of validation or any documentation that can be provided in order to prove that that student did participate in that learning mode, but we can resolve and work through those situations.
Thank you. Will people have to register again at the beginning of the 2021-2022 school year for the free and reduced lunch through their schools, or will registering before school ends during the 2020 and 2021 school year be accurate?
Do you want to take this one, Jessica? Or
Nope, I was going to ask you.
Sure, I'm happy to. So I don't know if we actually can completely answer this question because we likely have to develop a plan for issuance for next school year. I would imagine we would hope to use some of the same simplified assumptions that we used this year to basically try to use the best feasibly available data of when a student was actually eligible for free or reduced price meals across school years. So I would hope we could use the same, but we're not sure at this moment. Jessica, I don't know if you have anything to add.
Thanks, Rachel. Will counties be able to see issuance amounts of P-EBT?
I can jump. Oh,
Yep, thanks,
I can
Megan.
jump into this one. Yes. Counties will have access to a CBMS screen that has been specifically designed just for P-EBT issuance, where you'll be able to find the student's information, any of their eligibility information, and their issuance information should they have received P-EBT benefits. That screen will be available in the upcoming weeks, and we'll share more information with counties directly at that point.
Great. If there are several children in the household, do they each get a card sent in their name?
So that ultimately depends on if the family is an active SNAP household. If they are, then all children's benefits, P-EBT benefits, will be combined and issued to the existing SNAP card. Otherwise, yes, individual cards will be issued to non-SNAP families in the individual names for each child.
Thanks. And will you be emailing the P-EBT support number on Monday? And I can answer that one quickly. Yes, we'll include it in the follow-up email to this webinar on Monday. And let's see, next. Let's see, I'm just going through some of the repetitive ones. Will families that have children in a Provision 2 school receive the P-EBT card even if they're not currently enrolled in a food or medical assistance program?
I think yes, because they would still meet that criteria of attending a participating school as long as they're enrolled in free and reduced price meals, and then have the hybrid or remote for at least 1 month during this past year.
And a clarifying question. So just to clarify, kids who are attending in person will not qualify for this card. Is that correct?
That is correct. This is a supplemental benefit for meals that were missed due to COVID-related closures or reduced operating hours at schools. So again, just those remote or hybrid learning environments.
Great, and it is 3 o'clock, so we're gonna answer one more question. Thank you everybody for these excellent questions, and we'll be following up with the rest afterwards. But for a final question, what about clients who never receive a card or who are unable to activate a card? What should they do?
So anyone who thinks they may have met those 3 eligibility criteria but has not received a card by mid-July should reach out to the Colorado P-EBT Support Center to confirm their current mailing address and check their eligibility.
Great, thank you so much. And we'll be following up with everybody on Monday with all of these resources and more answers to your great questions. And we're looking forward to promoting this exciting program with you all.
Thank you all for attending today and asking such great questions.